What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel for yet another Streamer Showdown squad breakdown. Obviously, the guys were drafting last night. We are here today taking a look at their squads and breaking them down to see if we can see who I think is going to have the best weekend. Obviously, the games are on the Saturday and on the Sunday, and there will be a link obviously to the Streamer Showdown Twitch channel and the Lowdown channel if you've not seen it before. I don't know where you've been in the Football Manager scene, but this is the premier drafting competition in the Football Manager space. There are 9 competitors, so there's 9 squads that we need to go through today to see who we can basically decide on who, in my opinion, is going to win the competition. We did one of these for season 1, and I did pick Kev or Lollujo to win it. Not necessarily his squad that he ended up with. It wasn't drafted by him, it was drafted by WorkTheSpace. But the all important thing is that we did pick him to win the competition. If this is the sort of thing you like, guys, please do drop a like on it down below. Subscribe to the channel if you are new around here, and whilst you're down there, write in the comments who you think is going to win this weekend's Streamer Showdown. But without any further ado, let's dive into reviewing those squads. So guys, up first we have Chesnoid Gaming, who is obviously back for his first showdown of FM22. I've got his squad in front of me, and I'm just going to sit here and take a look at some of the notes that I've made. Looking at his squad, he seems to have drafted very, very young, guys. So for me, it feels like he's drafted a squad that you would love to get in a normal game of Football Manager, a normal career mode, which will progress and get better and better and better. For the most part, I'm looking at players like Gvardio in that, Baku, I'm looking at Kulievski, I'm looking at Trincao, Valovic, Fati, Jonathan David. All of these players are listed as like wonder kids with higher potentials, but their current ability not quite there just yet. I do like Riddle Baku. I think he's a fantastic little player coming out of Germany. Can play in a lot of positions. He's natural at both left back and right back, can play central midfield. I think he's a very, very good, versatile option for Chesnoid, but for me, if you don't get goals out of Dusan Vlahovic, then I think you're going to be, or Vlahovic, I think you're going to be in a lot of trouble. I don't really see personally where the goals are going to come from. I wouldn't rely on players like Trincao, Ansu Fati, or Jonathan David for that matter to produce the level of goals that I think you will need to win the showdown. I was watching a stream of Dr. Benjy's the other day, and he said it's not necessarily about being able to keep the goals out, it's about being able to score the goals, and I very much agree with that, and I very much share that opinion as well. So it's going to be an interesting one to see how Chesnoid gets on. I think he might struggle to put the ball in the back of the net. We are doing this alphabetically, so up next is the boss, Dr. Benjy FM, back for his first competition of the FM22 scene. He was banging on all week about drafting Messi, Suarez and Neymar. Didn't do any of that. That's not a real surprise. He did draft Federico Valverde as his first pick. I think that's a very, very good pick. It screams very Pumpster to me. I don't know if he's watched the video with Pumpster and Demamor FM where he talks about his good draft picks in the Whirlpool. Valverde was definitely one of them. Also, from taking a look at this, I think there's so much depth and flexibility in this squad. You have so many players who can play in a lot of positions to really help Ben sort of be a bit flexible, be Lollujo-esque on the division day, kind of try a couple of different things out on the league and see what works. So try different players in different positions. I'm very intrigued to see if he is going to play his Norwich formation or Norwich shape that he has been doing over on his Twitch save. Personally, I've had issues with Bonucci and Kimpembe, but on paper they are very, very good centre backs, and I think very good pickups in this draft pool, especially given the budgetary constraints on things as well. We've seen Osimhen be a very, very potent striker in showdowns previously in FM21. I'm looking forward to seeing how he gets on. He's so electric. He's got so much attributes, so many attributes that can really cause teams trouble. And I think if Ben uses him right, I think he's going to be an absolute handful for everybody to deal with. My only huge worry about this squad really is Arturo Vidal, who in my opinion is a walking red card, but I do think he is going to be used as a substitute. I don't see him starting in that midfield. There's so many players in here that I do like: Musiala, Milinkovic-Savic, obviously I mentioned Osimhen. Not necessarily the deepest behind Osimhen, but we all know Moukoko. I think he can score. Is he as good at the start of the game in this draft pool as he will be a couple of years down the line in the main game? No, but I think he's a very, very good deputy to Osimhen for Ben to do what he needs that player to do. Now we move on to Lollujo, and initially, Kev, congratulations on winning Season 1, as you do in every year's FM or every showdown. It seems like you always win Season number 1, so congratulations there. He's been labelled a little bit of a current ability merchant by Dr. Benjy, and looking at his squad, I wouldn't necessarily say it's all about the current ability. He's got a couple of players in there who I like. Obviously, it's going to be all down to Erling Haaland. Can Haaland be the guy to carry Kev to become Kevy 8 times? That is the big question. Or is Haaland going to fall flat on his face or blow a little bit hot and cold like we have seen Haaland do previously? It's all about, for me, getting Haaland in first game and getting him scoring that first game. Whoever Kev is up against, first of all, in the league system, he needs to score straight away, first game, and then he will be off and running. His consistency is good, his hidden attributes are very, very good. It's all about whether or not he delivers on what is expected of him. His defense is very big, very, very tall. Milinkovic is very big. Jonathan Tah, Zagadou, these are all very, very large central defenders, so I think he's going to be quite a handful on set pieces, both going forward and trying to score goals, but also trying to defend them. I don't see Kev conceding a lot of set piece goals with this particular squad. And as I said, the big question is all around Erling Haaland. Can he deliver? Now we move on to second yellow card, and my first observation about this team is Lafont in goal really does scare me. Now, I for some reason I can't look past it. Not having a backup goalkeeper as well means he's gonna have to stick with Lafont for the entirety of the competition, which is quite worrying. But on the plus side, it does look like he has some very, very good defensive options in front of him. I do like Pau Torres. Tomori is a very good player. Badashile is a big, big lad. Bremer, I think, is very, very good mentally. I think he has all the ability to be a good defender. So that's 4 strong centre-backs there. Is second yellow card gonna go for a 3 at the back? Not sure. I think his squad definitely has the ability to do so. So I think that could be very, very interesting. He's got some good workhorses, some guys with really high work rate in that sort of midfield area. Idrissa Gueye, Rebic, Moriba all have pretty decent work rates. And again, it's all going to come down to is Alexander Isak going to score the goals for him? Much the same as Kev with Haaland. Second yellow card has the issue with Isak. Now, out of the two, I'd rather rely on Erling Haaland, but obviously this is all going to come down to can these teams score goals straight away and get players with that good dynamic getting the progress that they need them. I'm not fully convinced on Damsgaard. Correa is a good utility option. Alexis Sanchez, I think we've seen the best of him previously. Not really in the right sort of ability set right here, right now for Alexis Sanchez. But I'm very intrigued to see how second yellow card does and how he bounces back from his disappointing showing last time out. Now it's time to talk about the debutant. Stinger is here. He's always the bridesmaid, he's never the bride, and I'm hoping this could be the competition that he wins, his first competition. He always goes late in tournaments, Stinger, so he knows what he's doing, he knows the draft pool. He's doing a save in Italy on Twitch himself, so he knows a lot of the players in this pool, and I think it's kind of reflected by the team that he's drafted. There's a lot of Serie A players in here that he's going to know really, really well. I'm so glad to see Stinger in the tournament. I think he's going to be brilliant value. He spends a lot of money on Kylian Mbappe. Now, I'm torn on Kylian Mbappe. Much the same, it needs to hit the ground running and start scoring early. It's a big outlay considering the budget restraint. Can he be the guy to drag him through? Last time I drafted against Stinger was in the FM playoffs, and he did something very similar. He spent a lot of money on Lionel Messi, and he did crash out in the groups of the FM playoffs. So I'm hoping it doesn't happen again this time. He does have the tallest 3 strikers in the draft. I'm discounting Mbappe here, but Tammy Abraham, Weghorst, and Christopherson is the tallest strike force or 3 striker combo that you can have out of everybody that has been drafted, with Tammy Abraham being the shortest of those guys at 6'3". Is Stinger going to look for set pieces? Is he going to look for crosses into the box? That would be my assumption. Moving on to SweetLeftFoot, and shall we just call it a day here, shall we? I think Mike, in my opinion, has the best squad. He does have Ciro Immobile, so that's probably game, set and match. In my opinion, Ciro Immobile is the best striker in this draft pool. I know Lewandowski's in here. I know Haaland's in here. I know Mbappe's in here. For me, Ciro Immobile, brilliant. And to be backed up by Maxi Gomez again, very, very good. I think he's got a great goalkeeper in Handanovic. Alphonso Davies, brilliant on that left-hand side. I don't see him being using a wide formation. Looking at his players, it seems like he's going to be pretty narrow, whether it's a 4-1-2-1-2 with central midfielders. I don't see anyone there in terms of players who can play out wide, but I don't think that's the tactic that Mike's going for. He's obviously drafted this with a purpose. For me, he's got a really high level of ability all throughout the squad, which is really, really nice to see. And as I touched on, Alphonso Davies will be a handful on that left-hand side. He is just electric up and down that side. But I think ultimately, I think SweetLeftFoot has a very, very good squad here and could be a little sleeper to go a long, long way in this competition. Now we have TomFM, and the first thing I noticed about this is that he drafted Karim Benzema. Now, I don't like Benzema. I don't like him in big spots. He doesn't have a high rating for important matches, and I think obviously that is what you need, especially once it gets to the Sunday competition of the showdown. You need players who can deliver when the pressure is on. There is a lot of stuff that I do like about Tom's team. Hakimi is fantastic. He's the best right back in this draft pool, in my opinion. Pessina is one that RDF swears by. He used him recently in the wasted possession and said that he was fantastic, so you can always take RDF's word as he knows what he's going to do with these players. Also, I will say I think this screams 4-2-3-1 for me. There's some interesting options in here, but I'm very, very intrigued to see how Benzema delivers. Some of the other options not overly fussed with. Donald Marlin, Kasper Dolberg, yeah, sure. I'm just not fully convinced what Tom is going to do with this and how he is going to progress. The main one for me to keep quiet is Hakimi in that right back spot. Now we move on to WorkTheSpace, who in my opinion had the best draft last time, and I think he's done very, very well this time. Another solid draft from WorkTheSpace. No real out and out wingers again, so I think you're going to see a little bit more of a narrower formation. The combination of Lewandowski and Olivier Giroud up front is not to be slept on. I think that is a very, very good 1-2 punch up top. I've had a draft recently where I was against Giroud and he tore me a new backside, so don't sleep on Giroud. He's not as slow as you think. He's got 12 pace, which is decent. You can handle 12 pace. I did notice whilst I was taking a look at the squads and reviewing things, Jack has the highest baseline of his current ability in his squad. His worst player has a current ability of 140, which is, as I said, the highest of all of the squads put together. So that is very, very interesting. He's got some good depth. I also like Galan as his left back option. I think that's very, very good. Again, very good draft. Nice flexibility, good options in these key areas. Let's see what happens. Can Jack win the league again and maybe go a step beyond this time out? Last, but by no means least, we are talking now about Zealand. Zealand has the opposite of WorkTheSpace. He has the lowest top-end ability of anybody in the draft pool. His top-end, his squad tops out at 158 current ability, whereas obviously we've seen WorkTheSpace, for example, has Lewandowski. He's got 190 current ability. So Zealand's going to have his hands full with this squad. It doesn't necessarily have world-beating talent in it, but for the most part, it is pretty solid. I do worry about Schwolo in goal. He is a goalkeeper with 10 positioning. That always scares me. Don't know why. I like my goalkeeper to be set in the right position. His squad is pretty tall and pretty athletic. Not the tallest, but definitely one of the most athletic throughout the entire 18-man squad. For me, I think set pieces are going to be pretty key to Zealand's play and how he's going to go about scoring goals. I love Bellingham, but for me, Zapata is the man to watch. I think he's an absolute monster, and if he can get him firing, he is going to be a real handful. Very physical. He's going to rely on running a lot, and he's going to require a lot of physicality. So I think Zealand's team is going to be a difficult one to hold on to, even though it doesn't have those elite level talents. So now it is the part of the video where I make my predictions for the final. I don't do who's going to win the league, who's going to win the whole thing overall, because whilst the league does mean something, it's all about who turns up on the Sunday. There are a lot of good squads in this, but for me, I'm going for Dr. Benjy versus SweetLeftFoot in the final. And this is going to be close, guys, but because he's got Ciro Immobile, I'm going to go for SweetLeftFoot to lift the Season 2 title of the Streamer Showdown. Unfortunately, I don't think Kev's going to make it. Kevy 8 times. There are some really good squads in here, as I said, but for me, I just think Immobile the power of Ciro Immobile. He's got Maxi Gomez, who's a little bit of a man crush of mine in this game, in draft mode. I just see SweetLeftFoot taking it all the way and winning the whole competition. But let me know what you think down in the comments section, and we'll revisit this to maybe see if I was right throughout the course of things. As I said at the start of the video, I was right last month, so let's figure out if there's some consistency here and I kind of know what I'm talking about, or I'm just chatting a load of old rubbish. If you have enjoyed today's video, guys, please do drop a like on it down below. Subscribe to the channel if you are new around here, and make sure you tune in to the Streamer Showdown live on Twitch on Saturday and on Sunday. Until next time, guys, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I'll see you on another one very, very soon.